The purpose of this video is to give a head start to the homework assignment that would be worksheet 24 for pre-AP or worksheet 29 for on-level students. They have the same content, they're just numbered in a different number order. This is to follow up from the first assignment where you were showing what's being done to your variable, the plan to undo it, and then using that undo plan to go ahead and carry it out in your algebra work, showing the undoing on both sides of the equation, finding a value that your variable was equal to, and then taking that value and substituting it back in to the original equation to see if you were getting true statements. This assignment will be really similar. You'll want to complete the do-undo chart. You'll get credit for that. You'll want to solve algebraically, showing your work on both sides of the equation. You'll want to check that. And then there are also some equivalent representations in this activity. There will be verbal descriptions that match, and there will be models that match. There's a bank of them on an accompanying page. There's two of the same thing. You would only need to focus on one part of that. We'll get to the matching later. We'll keep practicing the algebra on one of them. And I'm going to go ahead and select the second problem to work through together. X minus 2 is equal to 7. First, you want to identify what you are doing to the variable. And I usually will cover up the part of the equation where the variable is not. I'm only focused on the left-hand side here. So I'm running through my head and I'm thinking, am I adding with x? Am I subtracting with x? Multiplying, dividing, so on. And I see that I'm subtracting from x, subtracting 2 to be more specific. And then I'll think about inverse operations and what would be the inverse of subtracting. The inverse of subtracting is adding. And I like to do my undo work in a different color just so it stands out and I can make sure that I've actually shown the undoing work because it's popping out in a different color. Whatever the plan is, now I'm going to carry that plan out in my solving work. If I subtract 2 and then add 2, these essentially cancel each other out, and I'm still left with x on the left-hand side that I'll bring down. 7 plus 2 is 9, so I believe that the variable would be equal to 9. I'll check my work using substitution. I also like to substitute in a different color because that way it stands out to me and I can verify that my solution was inputted back into the original equation. 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. 7 on the left, 7 on the right. I get a true statement. So I know that my solution of 9 is correct. Now for matching. I need a verbal description that matches the scenario x minus 2 equals 7, and I also need a picture model that matches the same thing. I'm only going to focus on one part of this because they're duplicated. So first I'm going to look for a picture model because I'm a very visual person and I think I might be able to find something that has one variable in it and then subtracting 2. The rectangles are still variables. Here I see 3, 2, this could be it. There's one variable. There's one variable. Okay, one of these options could be it. And I'm going to keep looking. If I subtract, subtracting is the same thing as adding negatives. Subtracting 2, here this is adding 2, this is subtracting 2. Subtracting 4, this is just being cut in half. I think this is my 1, and I see that it's equal to 7. So I think that that is already a match. And then I need to find a verbal description. Here I see more than. More than is not a clue for subtracting. Each box is kind of ratio or multiplicative language. For fewer than. This is close. It does say fewer than, like subtracting, but it says for fewer than, not two fewer than. Half. Half is a clue for dividing. Per cake, that's more ratio language. This one may be it. I have 7 cakes equals 7, which is equals 2 cakes fewer than Samantha, if X were Samantha. I think that this is a match. So I'm supposed to be writing down letters, but I don't have any letters. So I'm going to head and label these so that we're all working off of a consistent lettering system. So I'm going to use I for the model and F for the verbal description. They'll each be used once, so I'll go ahead and mark through them or check them off. But they will not be used again. I hope this is a good head start for you. The others would work in a similar way. When they're checked over, you will be getting feedback and credit for each individual component. So there are lots of things that will be checked on the assignment. Good luck to you.